music. Woo! Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Just coming on here for a few minutes. See who might come on at this moment while I'm waiting. Yes, happy Friday, Saturday, wherever you at. Playing some Bob Marley music. Giving honor to Bob Marley. He would have been 75. Can't believe it. I remember when I came home. I don't remember what year it was. Came home and when my dad said, "Guess who dead?" Because you know Jamaican people, they have no filter, you know. And he was like, "Guess who dead?" And I'm like, "Who?" And he was like, "Bob Marley." And I threw it on my book bag and it's like I couldn't contain myself when I found out that Bob Marley had passed. So that was years ago. So I give thanks and honor to Bob Marley because not only is he Aquarius, but that I know that he started the what I call the revolution, and he was very radical, and you know, I just love all his messages and stuff like that, you know. And during that time when he passed away and I was 12, you know, my dad, he would always play music all the time. He played all the 8-track tapes and everything. So I know some of you guys might even know what 8-track tape is. So, you know, talk about the expansion and change and shift with things that was used in how we greetings, Brenda, Keandra. I literally drove 2 hours. I went to get my birthday massage. I did number 2 thing for myself, celebrating my birthday from 5 days. Was it 4 days now? Whatever. My second thing. So each day I've done something for myself. So I did my nails yesterday. Yeah, I did my own design. I didn't do it myself, but I sure picked the design. See that? See that? I got my little diamond thing. I got my little, what do you call that? It's like a flower. Yeah, I didn't do it on the middle finger. See? The middle finger is gold. Yeah, got Sharon golden. Anyway, just kidding. Anyway, I'm actually just waiting in the car while Damon is getting his haircuts. And I just figured, let me just come on here. Because remember, I've been driving for 2 hours. So if I move one little bit, I don't want pee-pee up myself. Thank you. Woo. So I just figured I'd come on here. Spoke a little bit about Bob Marley, you know, his Earth Day and what he represents, you know, Aquarius. You know, I'm in that Aquarius energy and stuff like that. So I was happy that I received my massage and everything like that, because I really transferred a lot of energy through my body and out, in and out, you know, so to speak. And what was interesting is when I was leaving the place, the lady, her hair was like fiery red. The one that I saw when I left, right? The one that I saw when I went in, she was miserable as fuck. But then when I left out, it was another lady. It's so interesting, the dynamics of life. You go in, you see one thing, you come out, and there's another thing. You know, it's just like, you know, we go in and out. Things go in and out. Anyway, I hope that made you laugh for a little bit. Oh, let me see if I can turn on a little bit more light. And I went through elements of weather when I was driving, because I literally drove to the other side of New Jersey. And when I was driving through, it never fails. Every time when I pass through Newark, I could feel my twins' energy and my divine complement's energy. And it's so powerful. It's so strong. So anyway, so I went through that little stuff, and the wind was blowing so much, and then the rain was falling, and then the sun came out, then the rain fall again, and by the time I got to the place, then it was snow. So I was like, isn't that amazing, all these elements of energy, you know? And so what's interesting is that I got a book that the lady that was there by the time I left, and she said that she's an author, and her book came out in 2020. I haven't read it yet, but it seems to be pretty short. I have other books to read before I get to this book, because I don't want to get myself overextended if I didn't finish, you know, do the things that, what I've been doing is doing the things that I love to do that I have not been able to do for years, that I'm starting to manifest right now. So I'm usually as soon as February comes in, all that heavy energy that I was going through, it's just like things are moving forward now and manifesting into my physical reality. So it was interesting when I opened up the book. Okay, now you know we can't make this shit up. You know, besides all the synchronizations I saw, a car license said leveled up, got my lotto stuff, you know. It's what I've been celebrating. And when I opened up her book, the first thing I opened up, which I don't know anything about her, never met her before. And the first, it looks like a children's book. But what's interesting is as soon as I open the book just to glimpse it, this is what I see. I am. And then this is what I saw next, Aquarian Dream. So I'm telling you, a lot of stuff is coming through. And she happens to be Aquarius. January 28th was her birthday. And then here comes I, Sharon. Anyway, so a lot of things have been just shifting through because I went through some emotional things. You know, this full moon is in Leo, and it's no coincidence that it happens to be the day before, you know, the day that they said that I came here. But, you know, I've been here before, but I came back again and again and again. And so here I am, here we are, you know, and pulling things together. And so, you know, Bob Marley's energy has been coming through with me. And what's interesting is that I'm going to see The Lion King, and I've always wanted to see it. So when I was able to get some discounted tickets, I was so happy. I felt this joy all over myself yesterday, and I was just searching and searching until I got the cheapest one and the best seats possible, you know. And so my mind wasn't thinking to put the pieces together because I thought I would be able to see a Broadway show on Monday, the actual day of my birthday. But then it's a blackout day for some reason. So they have a blackout day as far as Broadway shows. So you think that I live in New York and I get to do all these stuff, but it doesn't happen that way because everything just has to come in alignment with, you know, so much stuff to coordinate this. So I didn't realize until Spirit said to me, because I opened up this video to do with the full moon, the full moon. And then Spirit said, you realize why you're going to see it? And I was like, why? And they're like, because the lion. I'm like, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. Now I've seen the movie, I'm aware of the storyline, but what I think of when I think of the Lion King, I think of power. I think of the power that flows through my heart. I think about the desires of my heart. Okay, so it's like when I feel into the lion has courage and strength, and it goes beyond faith, you know. And I think of the lion up on the mountain, and we've all been everything. So I can remember myself as that lion goddess, and also the energy and the power that comes from being that, because the lion doesn't have to really say anything. It's like they just stand there and say, look at me, look at who I am, and honor me. You know what I'm saying? I tread forward. I will hunt you, and you know, as I hunt you down, and whatever it, you know, they said the lions, they prey on things, you know, prey, and they pounce on things, you know what I'm saying? That's the energy. But then they're also in their element of how they observe things, you know, and they don't just pounce out. They kind of watch and see first before they start making their moves and stuff like that, you know. So I think about, you know, the lion in that way, and how I've come with my own courage because of all the things that I've experienced and what I experienced through that Leo Aquarius eclipse. And now we're moving through things so rapidly, because I tell you, when I said the time just speeding up faster and faster, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to catch myself. And then I was like, if I plan that I have to do something, it's like my whole body is saying, you have to detach from time and more time, because if I attach to the time, then what happens is something starts to come in that changes it away from me. So I'm like, okay, you know, and that's it. I'm just like, the things that I've changed about myself just within this week alone is honoring myself more, and the value my value, you know, because I think of the lion. The lion knows him and herself, you know, the lioness as the king and the queen. You know, we embody it within ourselves, of course, because, you know, of course, I saw a lot of 222s when I was driving. Then I saw 2020, you know, and it's like when you really feel that power that you have within you, it's not even because you get something or do something to have this power. It's because you just know you are it. That's it. You just know. You're not waiting for somebody to tell you. You're not waiting for permission. You're not giving. When I say zero fucks, when I say zero, you know, none at all, no energy towards anything what anyone says or anything like that, you know. So I went through some deep emotional pain this week because my cousin, don't know her well like that, but I know we went to high school together with my other cousins, and she transitioned, and I already knew she was going to. But you know, it's like when you know and you're expecting something to happen, and then when it happens, it's like, oh my God. And I just felt all this energy and things I was feeling in my solar plexus, and it was really associated with pain. It was really associated with a lot of pain. And one of the things that I know that was shown to me based on conversations I had with Psalm and things that I observed is, especially with the divine feminine, where she places herself in honoring herself when it comes to her relationship with others, and especially if it's someone who is like a spouse, a lover, boyfriend, ex-lover, whatever. You know, no more compromising yourself because you want to be in a relationship that you will keep giving and giving because you're wanting it to happen, or that you're wanting to be needed by the person, or they need you or you need them. You know, it's all these things that have to just keep leaving. And I guess, you know, based on my observation that I see, you know, especially when I see more than one person, that whether it's in a reading or they're in conversation with me or I'm connecting with them, and I realize how everything or anything that is that block, okay, that block that is to your own sacred union space, it is going to keep showing up in your reality, that shows up through that person for you to observe. And then at the moment you stop and say, where am I now at with this within myself, with my thoughts, and how can I now balance out or shift out that thought or the energy or the feeling? Where does it place me when it comes to my ancestors? You know, is this something that I feel I have to this and that? And I get so many phone calls, of course when I'm logged on, from people, you know, if it's not a private reading, but most of the time the question is always, when am I going to hear from this person? When am I going to see this person? When am I going to come into union? What's going on? How is he or she thinking? And all that stuff. And I say it's okay to kind of wonder and stuff like that, because we can't put time on this. And there's so much healing to happen when it comes to ourselves, you know, and it can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's just so important to really let go of attachments and expectations, like really truly let go of it. And there's there's this emphasis on, I have to have this, I must have this, so it makes me, you know, like, what is the true intentions? Like, is it to make you feel better? Is it because everybody else is in a relationship, so if I'm not in one, then there must be something wrong, you know? Can you sit with yourself? Can you really start rebuilding yourself and rebuilding your own connection to yourself and start your relationship with yourself? Because, you know, I always felt that you start with the relationship with you. That's the highest part first, with you. Then with God, source, creator, whatever name you want to call it. You know, I don't get into all the little hissy fit with that. And then your beloved, and then others. It's not where you go into others first, then someone else, and then most of the time people don't even want to acknowledge that there is a higher power, but there is a higher power. There is still a universal higher power that's within you and outside of you, because that's why we're here, to see and observe how we're experiencing something inside and outside. And in order to see yourself on the outside, you got to go inside, and sometimes you got to go inside to see yourself outside, and sometimes you got to go outside to see yourself inside. So you're going to be going both ways. You're going to be going all different directions. Can you now contain it and observe it from within you and see it outside of you at the same time, you know? So when I went through my process earlier this week with the solar plexus movement, is what I call it, and I knew it was tied to my sacred connection. And I realized that there was a timeline, not even say so much timeline, but even more so, there was an energy that was connected to the shadow, I would say the shadow part of the feminine, and it was linked to any of the blocks based on the female feminine energy that I guess would say compromising herself. Like if you know that you're in a situation, in any type of relationship, and you know it's not for your highest good, but you stick it out anyway, or you want to try to change, or hoping that the person will change and that they'll become better for you. You're waiting to see if they'll marry you. You're waiting to see if you have a baby and then maybe they'll marry you, or you're hoping or expecting that they're going to do things differently, you know, because you did something for yourself. If you're doing something, do it for yourself, not for someone else, you know, because it's all these energies of expectation and expectation that comes out there. And a lot of times, you know, both males and females will sit for days, months, years, just hoping for something to change. And it doesn't change because you're busy focused on the outside. And it's the same thing if it's your job or in your home situation, you see? And so things are moving rapidly for all those templates of these attachment relationships and, you know, to break apart. It's going to keep breaking apart. If you're still holding on tight to wanting this person to be the one, and you know, it's not where you go searching for it, you know, because some people put out there, I'm searching for it, but no, it moves towards you and it comes towards you once you're in that alignment with it. You know, it has to do with you aligning with what is the highest and best for you, what feels right. If it doesn't feel right anymore, don't keep going any further. I had to learn that for myself a long time ago, you know. And you know, they say with age comes wisdom, you know, but sometimes there's some who do reach a certain age and they don't apply the wisdom. And one of the things that I will always give as advice or message, listen to your inner voice. Listen to that voice. Pay attention to your experiences. Your experience is the greatest teacher. So as you see yourself moving through this time tunnel, it's like a portal, and there's a larger aspect of that portal, and then there's that inner portal, and it's moving through so much sequential codes as it moves through your solar plexus. So whatever it is that was a block, I would say, in a way, for my union, I experienced on two sides of the spectrum how I knew something was going on with my solar plexus, because I was led to information to do with something. When I saw it, I felt myself mourning, mourning, and hours later I received I saw the information to do with my cousin transitioning, and it was so painful, and I just had to allow myself to just process through it. And I said, wow. I said, whatever it was that was within me, it had to push itself out, you know, and make room for what else that was going to come. And I had to keep surpassing the part of myself that's honoring me and the value that I'm placing in myself. So even with the when I think of the lion also moves through a passageway, or represents that element of that value of yourself and where you put yourself. You know, like some people say, oh, don't do too much out there, you know, dim it down. And the lion doesn't dim anything down. They're just there, boldly, strong. That energy is like empowerment, okay? And status. You are the best. You are a king, queen, whatever name of the highest element, you see? And it's so easy to get so stuck and caught up in other people's perception on where they feel that you should be, because they're afraid of your power. They're afraid of their own power, you see? And if they're not ready to embrace themselves, it's not your responsibility to explain anymore, to save them, to hope they will change, to hope that they'll move in the same direction, that they too embrace their own inner power, that they know their true wealth, you see, that they're in their sovereignty. You know, the king and the queen is within their own sovereignty. They stand up straight and tall. They're not afraid of themselves, you know. They're not afraid of or get involved in all the things that's outside of them, because they're just on their throne. You see, because that is who we are from creation, is being on our own thrones and our own position of power. Okay, the only difference is that the position of power is not what we have over others like how it was in the past. The position of power is where you are within yourself, that you move through these elements of the things that look like they come against you, but it's not, because it's yourself that is the collective consciousness of what represents that opposition. And as it comes through as like an opposition, actually that's how you're able to identify, well, where am I going to find my strength? Because through the opposition, through what looks like negative. Or if you want to say, ooh, this is doing this to me, and this person is this, and look at, you know, and stuff like that. So be mindful again of where you might place yourself with the judgment, you know, the judgment, and you know, and also taking in other people's observation or their own perspective on what they perceive something to be, because then that's where you could get all attached to their thoughts and feelings, and then you find yourself just vibrating right back to where, you know, they're at, you see. So that's a part of how you can ascend yourself out from how other people feel and think, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's all I know. And this is what brings you to that greater element of freedom. So, you know, when I think of Leo and Aquarius, there's this proudness that comes with that energy. And also, when you know what you know, you foresee things ahead of time. You're able to move through the change and what it means to change, okay, and embrace the change that is happening within you and how you're embodying that change, and that you have great courage in how much more you are ascending to that higher aspect of yourself, okay, that as you are in that energy of creation, that you're able to observe it and be proud of yourself and where you've taken yourself with your creativity, with your power. You know, and it does take a bit, of course, to get to that certain place where you're totally releasing, totally letting go of what others people, you know, what others say and how they feel about you and stuff like that. No, you know, so when I heard this message also coming from Spirit is that if you are expecting something to come through when it comes to the relationships, because I know that's the number one topic, relationship, on everybody's mind, into your heart and soul, is the desire to love and to be love and to feel love and to express love. You see what I'm saying? And that greatest energy, when you feel with that, is how we create, you see. And so we want it, we desire it, but some people run from it. They don't want to face it, and they don't want to go through the healing to have it in that space to where it is empowering for you instead of being disempowering for you, because you're waiting for it to come a certain way and how it should look and where you want to place your value, because you don't have to lose I want to say lose. You don't have to devalue yourself because of the desire that you have, okay? You can still attain this true love and still be in your position of power, where you complement each other, okay? And not where one is in one angle with one thought with things and the other is on the other space, you see? This is where we're coming together as equals, okay? And sovereign within ourselves, you see? And nobody's not, you know, there's none of this jealousy and envy and competitiveness and this one better than the other one. Is just to understand that I represent the aspect of who I am. You are who you are. I love you for who you are. Love me for who I am, and see how we blend and mesh things together individually and collectively. But I'm not losing myself in the process while I am being myself, within myself, outside of myself, as I observe all of the miniature versions of myself. And this is how we move through that space in order to come into harmony. Okay, and detaching. So this coming week, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to do the questions and answers on YouTube Live. And so if you have any questions you feel that you would love to ask, it doesn't matter what kind of question it is, of course that it's of a nature that we can discuss. And this would be in my community tab. You can type the questions there, or you could email the questions to me, the Garden of Eden 1111@gmail.com. And the question and answer, I'm doing differently with that because I know there are many who have been on their spiritual path, regardless of what the label is, for a while. There's some who are just beginning to awaken to this, and there are things that are changing that even if that question was asked 3 years ago, we're in a new frequency. This is the thing, is that so much things are changing rapidly with how we do things and say things, that by the time you think you catch up to something now, it's not the same anymore. So, you know, it's not only just adapting to the change, but moving with it and becoming the change. You understand me? And that means it's how you do things, from thought, feelings, action. Thought, feelings, action. Everything put together. You know what I mean? So, anyway, so one of the main things, again, that I'm going to be touching up a lot is relationships, okay? Because it's what we're moving towards, that greater union space of connecting to each other, okay, and connecting within ourselves and grounding it on earth and manifesting and what it means, bringing a greater meaning to the connection that you have to yourself, to source, creator, energy, and being able to see the signs and to understand what they mean and where it takes you, where it takes me, and that you go with that flow. You know, have some fun, for goodness sake. Have some fun. If you've been just too much on one side with just reading, go to doing something, to listening and enjoying life, and you make things happen, okay? You don't have to wait on someone or something in order to be, okay? You don't need anyone's permission, not at all. Because if you still feel that you need to have somebody's permission and hear and wait around to see what they say, you know what? You're missing some other opportunity that you could have moved forward with something else. You know what I mean? And not holding yourself back all the time because you're waiting for validation or permission from someone, okay? So just keep remembering to pay attention to the signs, the messages, what's coming through for your inner balance, the outer balance, you know, and how it just becomes, how do I say this? Like really letting go. Like you're really letting go, but you're still you're in the earth, but you're not of it. You're in this time, but you're not of it because you're not attached to it, okay? And still knowing who you are as a powerful being, okay? As a powerful being, it makes a huge difference, Go deeper with that inner child and bring him and her out, okay? Like bring him and her out. It makes a difference having that fun. I can't begin to tell you the smile that was on my face because I got those tickets and what I know what it's going to do for me, you see. And I don't even know the timing of what's going to be aspecting that day, but I know definitely by the time I do that live, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some downloads and messages, you know, so on and so forth. So that's exciting. So how is everyone doing today? How is everyone being today? What's going on in your neck of the woods, your part of the world? I'm curious. He says you never listened to him, but lately you have. You never listened to who? Stop flicking you off. Who are you talking about, Stephen? Oh my God. Ooh, I'm going to do it. I'm typing. You want to know if you have a twin flame. Well, you would know if you have a twin flame because it's led to you from spirit, okay? That's how I found out. It's not even because I was looking, but because I always knew there was someone out there that would be right for me. And when I knew that there was someone out there for me, it's because months before my twin found me, is the word that I use. I was having dreams about him from years before. I just never saw the face. You know what I mean? And Bob Marley. Oh, okay. So, you know, and I always knew that if everything did not feel right for me with that person, because after I reached a certain point, I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I know I deserve better. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to settle for less, because it's another thing too that happens with many people. They keep settling for less. They start putting out this energy, oh, I'm too old, or I might as well just stick with this person because there isn't anyone else showing up, or they're married and, you know, they're married and then they meet their twin or their beloved, and then they feel like, well, I'm happy, so I'll just stay right here. But you're not really happy, because you're still seeking answers, because you know something's missing, you know something's off, you know something doesn't feel right. You see what I'm saying? And this is about following your heart, like really following your heart, having the courage to walk away from the relationships or anything that doesn't serve you, because how can the new come in if you're still attaching to the old? Because, oh, you're supposed to stay married till death do you part, or I have a child and stuff. So do you have the courage now to walk away? And when you are in this connection of a twin soul, I prefer to use, but I know the twin flame is name and labels for a reason, so we can identify that path, is that it is a supernatural connection. It's not like a regular relationship. If you keep trying to fit it in a box, it's going to keep falling apart. Okay? And it starts from you, and it is connected to that person, where you and that person share that same soul frequency. Okay? That means that you are magnetized within each other and outside of each other. There is nothing that anyone can say to you that it can be with someone else, or you can cut it off, or you can get it in other, you know, multiple bodies and stuff like that. You can have the experience of the love that comes through from twins, right? And how it changes the template of the old relationship. But when you have a twin soul, trust me, I know what this feels like. It is not human normal. It's not. Okay? And so there's people out there that use the name twin flame like a dynamic, like as if you're going one-stop shopping, you know, for love, and that it has to meet certain criteria for you to know whether you are or not. It's your personal journey. It's your personal journey back to yourself. It's your personal journey with God. It's your personal journey with that person recognizing they are God. Okay? That's how radical it gets. Okay? And that you also know yourself as God, Goddess, to recognize yourself inside and outside. It is powerful. It is magnetic. It is a force. Okay? It is a force beyond a force beyond a force. Okay? And when you are in this connection, you will feel and know it is sacred. You will know that it's very sacred. You're not even interested in anyone else, because that's the way that that spirit designed it to be that way. Okay? Everything else outside of you will start to fall apart, because you know it doesn't fit right, and it doesn't align with your energy. It doesn't align with your thoughts anymore. It's not the same anymore. Everything starts to break down around you. Physical things start to break down around you. You might lose a job. You lose friends. Family members pull away from you. It's not only that romantic, you know, element as well. It tears you up on the inside out. Your heart breaks. You're in ultimate joy, and you're also in ultimate pain at the same time. You see? So if this person that you feel may be your twin, and you have been receiving messages from Spirit, listen to those messages. Pay attention to the messages. Spirit says it's time to get off of that. I'm not directing at you, don't get me wrong, because I'm so passionate about this. That's why I can't wait to get on that question and answer things, you know, because, you know, Spirit leaves everything to happen at the right time in the right place, because there's so much information out there that's so misinformed, and, you know, people run with it and they forget to come back within themselves to feel what feels right for you. What is the truth? Okay? Truth shall set you free, and so does true love. It sets you free. But first, you must unfuck yourself. Like, really totally let go of every blood clotting. I said raw now. Every blood clotting you think you know, everything you think you know is out the door. It's gone. Done. It's done. You must let go. And you look to, and it's not necessarily have to look up, because people think, say, when it comes to God and this journey and everything, you have to always look up. No. Look sideways, ups and down. Look everywhere. Feel into things now. Connect to the unseen world. Your twin soul is also showing up through every single person, event that you're experiencing. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Are you aware? Your twin brings you to a greater awareness, okay? And so what I'm hearing is that the Holy Spirit, God, Source, Creator, the Omnipotent universe loves you so much that the desire of your heart to feel and experience this divine love is here with you now. But first, we must go through the steps to come back to yourself in order to experience it, where it's in an harmonious, fluid space, and being able to move in all realities, to see yourself as multidimensional. When it comes to you and your twin, you create and move mountains. You heard what I said? You create and move mountains. And there's magic and power that comes with the pairs. Okay? Some may be on a path where their twins may be coming as walk-ins. Some may be on a path where they have two divine masculine. Some may have two divine feminine. Some may have in a pair of threes and twos. That's what was shown to me. I shall not and will not speak anything than what is shown to me from spirit and what has been spoken already in the book. In following your inner guidance, some may already be connecting to their twin in the higher realms, and they're not in the physical world as yet, and it doesn't mean they're not going to experience it. All I know is that we're creating this Garden of Eden, returning back to source. We're returning back to the original state of consciousness, to what true divine love is, where it did not descend and went into this energy of control, power, ego, fear, okay? Oh, I'm less than, limitation, consciousness, okay? Do you know when you walk that you literally can create the money to just come from out of nowhere for something? Do you know that if you are in a stage 4 of anything, that you have the ability and the power to heal thyself? Do you know that with your true twin, that you both heal one another mentally, spiritually, and physically? Oh, yes, you do. That's how powerful it is. When you're with your true twin, it cannot be duplicated. It cannot be, like I said, in all different multiple, because I think there's just a way to explain it that people can understand. If you are in a consciousness of confusion, you're gonna invite the confusion to come into your space. If you are in an energy of, I choose clarity, I choose the truth, no matter what, then that's what you will experience. That's what you're gonna pull towards you in your energy field. Okay? Camino say, when I started out on this path, I had no idea I was on a twin flame journey, okay, or twin soul path. I knew I was on a spiritual path. I knew I was always going to write a book because I felt it, I heard it, I kept hearing it, I kept feeling it. And then when that day came, I should say, and when I came into contact with my twin, I said, you know, this is not ordinary at all. I said, wow, this is super. This is powerful. And then I noticed that he says things I say. He had things like what I had, and that's like, oh my God, he has this, he does this like me too. And I was like, oh my God, you know. And when I was in his presence, that power was so strong. It was like a magnetic field. They show it to me like when you think of the earthquake, and I forgot what they call the equator, and the energy that comes from that force, what it takes to lift up something. That's what it felt like, okay? And I couldn't move. So, and it wasn't a fearful type of feeling. It was more of power and energy, okay, that was beyond. And I knew that it was not of this earthly plane, you see. And I repeat, I did not go into fear. See, that's one of the things I know, that sometimes people, when they experience things, they start going to fear, then the judgment and, you know, and stuff like that. And I didn't do that, you know. And so what I did is I said, you know what? I said, Spirit, can you just please tell me the truth? Can you just show the way for me? And I allowed my heart and my mind and my soul to be open to hearing and knowing the truth of what was happening. And that is how I lead my life always. I do not go into the fear factor and people that gossip or the judgment energy. I listen and I listen and I listen with sacred listening. I allow myself to see beyond what I physically see, you know, because I know that there's times when we do rely only and mostly on what we physically see. And your twin shows you, are you able to follow your heart? That even if someone else says to you, be mindful of going to psychic people and you're trying to find out, when is he going to call? When is she going to call? When am I going to see him? When am I going to see her? And then you get disappointed, and then you feel like, well, why am I seeing all these messages and signs? But then yet still, you know what you're feeling in your heart. And that's the part where Spirit takes you, because it's like you have to go through your own regimen. You have to go through your own, how do I call it? I don't want to say school, but it's like you got to go through your own element of what you have to see for yourself. And that moves you towards that path of empowerment. You know what I mean? Like, when are you going to finally start trusting your path? When are you going to start finally having that courage that even though you know that this person is the one, you know, we're all looking at the one. Who's the one? Where's the one? You know, and then the one comes, and then there's that, this like, oh my gosh, this can't be true. Yes, it is true. You know, some people say if it's too good to be true, then it can't be true. Well, what if it's the other way around? The things you think were wrong is now right. What you think was right may be wrong. You know, don't hold tight to every single thing. Be in that flow every second. That's Aquarian. It's like, be in that second, be in that moment. Detach, and see what is showing up in your outer and inner reality. If it feels right inside, and then it shows up, voila, you know you're on the right track. Now, what if it feels good inside from 1999? Now we're in what, 2020, and it don't feel right no more. Time to cut that off. That is what being in the moment and flow is all about. Are you able to move through the change, greetings, and not just feel like, well, I gotta stay right here because this is what I'm used to, and you know, this is a family tradition, and you know, I have it on paper, you know, we have this house together, you know, and it's in the family, and okay, you know, time to change that, because you don't know what can make a difference when you're in a new energy, and how much more of that expansion, not only in consciousness, but the blessings, the manifestation of everything and all things, and the prosperity. Okay, you could be sitting in a place right now where you are, and it's making you sick, physically sick, mentally sick. You might be having, you know, like tension, stress, and you don't even realize you're probably in an area where it's time to leave, it's time to go. And then when you let go, like really let go and allow Spirit to move you in the direction to the right place and the right people at the right time, it will happen. Because I'm telling you, coming into this union space with your beloveds means that you're at a place where everything is in flow for you most of the time. Okay, and I'm talking for the energy and how it is going. You will start to see your outer reality reflected. You're not chasing it. You're not running after it. You're not trying to make it be how you want it to be. That means that you're now allowing Spirit, the Holy Spirit, source, divine creator, to bring it to you. I have things manifesting in my reality without me doing anything. And it's like totally setting the captive free. Okay? Letting go of all the enslavement, and you're enslaved, and you're in jail, and oh, you can only get it this way, and this is the only way, and you got to get it from the massa. You know, you got to get permission, and oh, it's impossible. You know what I love is when anybody ever tell me, say, I can't do it. That's what motivates me to keep doing it. It's like a driving force within me. And that's where the masculine comes in for me, you know, and I don't give up. So don't give up. Do not give up. Do not ever give up. Do not ever give up on love, especially because love is one of the things that has been used as a tool for people to turn against each other, to not believe in it again because of the distortions that has flowed through from the ancestors. Okay, because they were separated from love, and all of the anger, disappointments, feeling abandoned, rejection. You don't need anybody permission to say that you're beautiful. You are the one that defines your beauty, your strength, who you love. Okay? That's it. Nothing can separate you from that. Nothing. Okay? Believe and trust yourself in what is being shown to you and what you feel. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the waking dreams and not just the sleeping dreams. Because I know a lot of times people think, oh, I gotta wait till I fall asleep and then I'll get a dream. I'm gonna be driving and talking at the same time. Oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna do more I want to take. Waking dreams also give you messages. Yay! Okay, and that's where the magic comes in, because the magic is flowing within you. Are you able to see the signs and to feel it? And then you can be like, I may not have all the answers, but I know that I'm on the right track. I may not know where this is taking me, but I know that all is well. I know I'm a powerful being. I'm still experiencing human things because I cry, I bleed, I this, I that. I understand myself, and I'm still moving forward because I trust where my soul is leading me. I trust my soul with who I am as this individual person and the other person who's someplace else. That's still me. Your twin is you. You are your twin. That's a fact. Facts. Okay? It's a fact. Sometimes twins look like each other. Sometimes they duplicate and say the same things. Sometimes they may not say the same things. It can be the opposite, because it doesn't mean that all the formulas from 1 to 99 is exactly what makes that person. You are, it's like as if somebody come. It's like, say, if you let somebody come at your yard, right? You know what I mean when I say that? They come at your house, and then they will come tell you what you're for doing at the house, and tell you, say, that's not you. Who told you that's you? That's like you having somebody tell you who you are. Don't let nobody come tell you who you are. And your twin knows that they're connected to you. They know from a deep soul level that you're the one. They love you. They always love you. They never stop thinking about you. Okay? Just as much as you don't stop thinking about them. It's not based on whether you feel, well, I feel like I'm obsessed. I gotta go find somebody else. Because this is not healthy. What if it is? Because that's the natural way that how twins are, that they are so connected to each other that you can feel each other's presence no matter where you are. You could be in two different parts of the world. You could be, there's cases that I've heard, things I've read, where one twin is in a store, the other one was someplace else, and they felt the presence of their twin, okay? And then they happen to see them because they were there. And the energy is so powerful that it's like you can't move, like you're still, okay? And that's exactly what it's like. That's exactly what it's like. It is not a regular relationship. It is a relationship, but it's not based on relationship values from the past. It is based on your connection to yourself, the divine, them, and the collective. We're here to break down the walls and to break through the blocks to the things that we perceived of what love is and was. You see? And whoever you are connected to, they are attracted towards your energetic field with where you are at the time when you're ready to align with being with your true love, okay? Now, when it does happen, remember, you're going to be still working through the kinks and the stuff that have been blocks to the both of you being able to stay together in that same energetic physical space as well. So everything has to work and align itself on so many different levels. You're talking about your spiritual body, your mental body, your etheric body is the last body by the time you come into that physical space, because that's that part of you that has always existed that may be attached to who you have embodied in many, in a lifetime. You're living out yourself as your twin, through your twin, on so many different layers and dimension. You have been in the male body, the female body. You've been heterosexual. You've been same sex, okay? You've also experienced what it's like to be the father-child dynamic, mother-child dynamic, okay? Siblings. You've been everything with your twin, okay? And you've experienced most of all of it and gathered up so much information that now what you're doing is you're compacting all that information that's constantly going back to the Godhead, and then there's information that's processing, filtering through your heart as well, because the heart has a consciousness, okay? Your heart has consciousness, your spleen, your liver, your stomach, every part of your body, every organ has consciousness, okay? Yes, it does. And it attaches, we'll pull over, it attaches to an experience you've had in the past that may be of healing, that may not even be from your stuff that you accumulated. It could be from an ancestor. There's someone I read for. she was processing something that came through from 4 generations back, okay? And guess what? Her body was affected so much to the point where she had so much things that were happening in her womb space that was going back 4 lineages. And I didn't know any of her family history. It was my first time reading for her. This was just a couple days ago. She know who she is. I was reading for her for 2 hours doing past life regression and everything, okay? It was worth it. It was worth it. And it really validates what I always know, that it's not only stuff that you may be going through in this lifetime on your own, but there's also energy and things that you are also healing and pushing through, because whatever has attached to the body from the experience comes from what has flowed through from your mother and your grandmother and your great grandmothers, and all that energy is processing through your womb space, your organs, everything. So be conscious and aware. You are also processing things that come through from your twins family. Some people don't talk about that because it's not just your own. It could be things coming through from your twins family as well, and you may not even know that. You know, because some may say, well, I've never met them, I have no idea. Pay attention again to the feelings that you're having and the dream state. There's people that are going to still keep showing up in your dreams that you have no idea who they are. They will be connected to you from past life and this life. It could be between you, yourself. And yes, Keandra, it's spiritual love affair. It's a spiritual love affair. This is where we're reconciling our spiritual love life and not just the physical love life. Because when we bring it together, that is what creates that harmony. That's what creates all of this magnificent. Even when I feel into the energy of spiritual love and physical love, because I know some people think, well, I'm only going to be in spiritual love and I'm just going to be so happy. And yeah, but still something's missing, because we desire to experience it in the physical world. We desire to know what it's like to know ourselves with this love and what it brings for us. You know what I mean? What does it feel like? What does it mean to be in this power? This inner power and the strength that we have as individual representation of the divine, and how this sacred love shows up in so many different ways. You see, because we're all here to express this love in so many ways. Let go of as much attachment to the labels as much as you can. Let go of age. Let go of color of skin. Let go of sexual preferences. Let go of what mommy and daddy says or what they perceive. Let go of the religion factions, feels it goes against. Everything that you feel that goes against is actually for it. And another thing too is that we agreed. Okay, we all have our soul, contracts. We were all around that round table. We sat around the table and said, oh, I'm going to take a little bit of this, a little bit of that before I get down here. And we already were aware of the density of the planet. But guess what? Right now, we're freeing up so much of this energy because of what we're pushing through from the solar plexus. So you're going to be feeling a lot of solar plexus activity from now and through this whole full moon cycle. And it's because whatever is in the root of the feelings, the thoughts, experiences, especially around intimacy and sex and connecting, okay? And all of that, it starts from the root chakra, okay? The sacral chakra, your womb chakra, okay? It's working your way through the womb, because the womb is through that creative space. And it's not where you're doing it alone. You're divine masculine, divine feminine, you're doing it together, okay? Because it's not one-sided. It's two. It always had two. And what starts from the two, because of coming back into that androgynous place within yourself, okay? So that energy itself is where you are in your own creativity, and then your creativity with your divine complement or your divine masculine is what brings in that quadrant energy, okay? That's that force, that power, what brings that balance together between yourself and that person. So for anyone out there that still says it's not about that other person, that's bullshit, okay? Because it is about that person also. There's a reason why we agreed to come down here and here to remember ourselves through the triggers and the activation that exists between ourselves and that person. The key to remember again and again and again and again is, I am healing myself and the lineage, so that way I'm creating a greater aspect of love that shows up as harmony. Okay? Harmony. When I think of the word harmony, I think of triad, threes, mind, body, spirit. Okay? Your soul, your spirit, your makaba. You know, something's igniting. The chakras are just igniting and coming with this force. You see? But if it's out of alignment, you're not going to be able to experience it. And being out of alignment with it is related to your belief systems, your thought patterns, everything that has been structured for you, and, you know, and all that. And remember too that, you know, we created it also. We put this all into place because we didn't have anything else better to do. That's how I look at it. We wanted to be excited with it. We wanted to experience it. And the more you detach from the stories of, oh, look at this, look at me, look at what this is doing to me, oh my God, fuck this shit, you know, it's all right if you want to, but don't stay there too long. Remember to get yourself out of the funk, okay? Get yourself out of the funk, and that, you know, when you look back at yourself now, okay? Like, really look back at yourself now and look at yourself and see how you have evolved. That's the other thing too. See how we're reversing, you know, the cycles of things that have happened before. You will look younger, feel younger. You won't even be attached to age. You won't be attached to, you know, holidays, dates, and all these things. Time. You detach from everything. Everything. You're observant of it. And you're like, okay, but then that's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. You know, you're not heavy with it. Because, you know, when you're lighter in your heart and you're not taking everything so freaking ass personal. I mean, literally, there's people that are taking this path extremely personal. I would only take it personal in the sense that I hold this as a sacred time and a sacred space for my true divine love, because that's what I am. I am true love. I am true love inside and outside, and therefore I know as I am recreating myself, I'm in gratitude for the process. I'm in gratitude for the progress. I'm in gratitude for how it has unfolded on both sides of the coin, in all elements, all time, space, and dimension. You see? And I will continue to embark on this adventure that I'm on. And of course, I'm in gratitude for how it moves interdimensionally, and I am creating that peace in the meantime as I am and who I am. You see, I'm creating that peace, and as I am that peace myself, because you have to be that which you choose and to experience. Okay, if you wait for it to come because somebody needs to do something or say something, you're going to sit on there and wait forever. Okay, because it comes from you, not someone else, So even in light of the chaos and the calamity and the pain, the joy is what comes after, is what you can focus on, you know, the joy, and get on that train, and whatever it takes, you know, if there's something for you to do, then do it. If there's something for you to change with how you feel about something, do that, you know, because all it takes is just within that second that you change your thought about something, and then immediately you created a new timeline. Immediately. It's instantaneous, you know. And breathe, just take a deep breath and let it go, and let it go, and let it go, because it stores up into so much energy in the body. And that's what affects so much people, and they go into illnesses. They attach to what someone says about, oh, to be spiritual, you got to eat this. Oh, you got to look like this. Oh, you got to be this way. All these rules. How many rules are we going to keep making up and getting attached to because of what somebody said from blood clot 20 fucking years ago? Come on now, man, you know? It's like, nah. So that's why, you know, the more we move into that freedom element is the more we are creating the new earth and the new heavens and the new cosmos and the new. And the more you are acclimating this new energy and feeling into it, the less you are attached to all the outer circumstances and TVs and all these things. Seriously. You see what I'm saying? That's all right. What, my friend? I need to come to Canada, you know. So, but not right now though. We're gonna have too much snow. I don't want no snow business. I like how things are going on in New York right now with just rain and wind and the sunshine. Little bit of sunshine, you know what I mean? And you know, so see, I end up staying longer. You see what my soul do? My soul let me go on the live when my son getting haircut and he's still. But anyways, getting ready to cut off. Don't forget, sometime this week I will be coming back on to do the live with questions. If you have any more questions, please feel free to email me. If you'd like a personal reading, you can reach out to me. I love you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Okay? And don't forget to stir it up. Little darling, stay